Solid posting you made, by the way, of the whole thing with definitely not Pal World, definitely not Pokemon. And my only stance on it is, yeah, that kind of needed to get shut down, even if temporarily. Kind of has to happen if you fly too close to the sun. For context, in case of editing or otherwise, well, actually, I should say that now, because I am editing these specific VODs, keeping practice, and because it's gonna need it. So, a game got announced at one point, like, within the last 6 months-ish, approximately, and it was advertising itself as this whole Breath of the Wild meets Pal World meets Pokemon type thing, which already sounded sus. I remember a whole bunch of us, Blue included, were discussing it in Dreamy's server at one point, and one of the things that we brought up specifically was, hey, this is way too close to either IP. Now mind you, I already have my own misgivings with Pal World being a little too close to Pokemon, but I'll put those to the side. Kia, 8 months. Thanks for continuing to set up shop using Bezos's money. Enjoy your emotes. Adorable Kimty. But yeah, putting my own misgivings aside, there comes a point when you're flying a little too close to the sun, and you hit that point the moment you start using fan creations. And it was shown at a couple of points that some of the entries into this spoof game, into this particular game, were a little too close to fan art and fan models and whatnot. And as a result of that, this massive wave of, hey, this looks a little too bordering black. Apparently, within the last week, Blue put up a message saying that supposedly the studio responsible for this game, again, I'm not disclosing the name because give them at least a little bit of a benefit of the doubt, even though they don't deserve it. The particular group put up a posting saying, hey, we're just gonna be taking this off of the Steam store page for the moment while we work through a few things, maybe make this a little bit less legally questionable. I have nothing against indie games. I love indie games. At the same rate though, there comes a point where you fly too close to the sun of, hey, you might get some bad attention and PR from Pokemon. And the average company does not survive that. You border too close with copyrighted material, and it doesn't even matter if you're based in China or what have you. You're gonna get fucked up. And yeah, unfortunately, Blue adds on even when subbed is more common than you think for Twitch because they're greedy bitches. I've done what I can to dampen down the amount of ads on the channel because honestly, I don't get too much money out of this. I don't care about money. I want to be entertaining. Reminds me of this upcoming mascot horror game called Subliminal. That sounds a little bit on the nose. Right, before we get to hell, there are a couple of things I did want to bring up. Surprisingly, they're interrelated with one another. First off, I know it might go against the spirit of things. I do have a mod installed to give me unlimited lives, just to make that aspect of the A rank grind a little bit easier. I did do a level to test this, but I was also trying to test another mod and found out that it does kind of make things a little bit on the broken side. And by broken, I mean, I'm just gonna take it off and show you. Recce modeling game. I wish I could do that, but that's gonna require a whole lot of finagling. And unfortunately, with code that I can't even contemplate. No, the mod that I had installed, and again, I'm gonna disable it, kinda caused me to inadvertently get an A rank while I was trying to get a key for, keys for Rouge and Eggman to be able to access the Chow world. There's no audio. There's no audio? Yes, there's no audio. I need to fix that. One of these days I'll get used to the audio system I've got, but that's not today. Right, to reintroduce, the mod in question kind of made things a little bit too easy while I was getting the keys for Eggy and Rouge. And as a result of that, I may have accidentally off-screened an A rank. I'm sorry. I'll make it up to you guys. We're still gonna be doing it for you. It'll be the first one we cover. The mod in question does one specific thing. and that is fix the radar, so that way all Chaos Emerald pieces, or what have you, blink when you're close to them. Again, it made things a little bit too easy. On the bright side, Sonic Adventure 2 is quite flexible in terms of how it handles mods and everything, because, you know, it's an old game. So, up there. Yep. Shit. 2 to go. But as a result of that, we're not going to be using it. It does make things a hell of a lot easier. I may consider it for Mad Space if I get desperate. Y'all also gonna hate what I'm doing for the editing side of things, because I'm keeping track of every single one of the glitches that, or otherwise derps, that comes up in the process of getting all these A ranks. And let me say, the duct tape counter is already double digits and closing in on like 25-ish. Yes, that's gonna be the official name for it, because I may be a little bit game champ pilled. It pings when I get close to there. Okay, where the fuzzy is it? Might teeter on game breaking. Yeah, because if y'all will remember, the radar of this game only has 3 settings technically. Don't tell me it's like in behind the wall or something. I'm gonna shatter if that's the case. Because, I don't even remember where the missile is to the sky. I might just restart. Check the entire wall where it gets red. Like, here. Really? Oh my nuggets, thanks Tara. Thanks for being my sanity check. This is not nearly close to A rank. How the fuck was that still A rank? See, this is what I mean with A ranks in this game. They are fucking stupid. It's not about how quickly you clear the stage, it's about the score you hit. And that's why it's bullshit. Otherwise, Tana Kamada. My name is Sage Blake. I'm a wanderer, storyteller, artist mature, and we're back to this bull. Ugh. Speaking of bullshit, getting this A rank. I think I mentioned at one point, the A rank requisites for this game are generally score attack challenges. This one's no exception, apparently. I originally thought that it was not going to be a score attack challenge, it was just, hey, get to the goal as fast as you can. As it turns out, I am gloriously wrong, and I hate it. Yeah, even the quote-unquote time trial challenges base their A ranks off of score. It makes about as much sense as you think it does. So none. Yeah, it doesn't make sense. And I did the research for this shit. Each and every one of the A ranks asks for a specific score barrier to be cleared in tandem with their extra objective. And by clearing that score barrier, that determines the grade that you get for the mission. This still means don't get hit, because a qualifier for score is your ring total. If at any point during your rounds of A ranks you get hit even once, you potentially jeopardize it. Hell, I might have actually, because I missed so many rings on the path there, missed my A rank. Yeah, essentially, you're chasing perfect fucking see? You're effectively chasing perfect runs multiple times over. Now, to help me with this, I am probably gonna pull up a quick guide to help me. Yep, so for example, the score attack challenge for City Escape is the same score attack challenge for the normal completion. 18,000 points. Put that into perspective. It's not clearing it as fast as possible. It's, can you reach 18,000 points when you clear the stage? And Tara with the 3 streak. Get some clothes on, my good dude. Mind you, things like clearing the stage as fast as possible still help, technically speaking, in getting the amount of points you need. But it's only one requisite out of many. At least by having the shield when we get into the gun truck section. Damn it, never mind. I might have lost it. frick! Ooh! A little too close there, but I don't think that was enough. Yep, not enough. Might take a brief break on that one then. The score requisite for Middle Harbor here, 20,000. Yeah, you heard me right, 20,000. Oh no, wait, that's Green Forest. 15,000. We could still do this. And that's ruining it. Pretty much, you can't afford to get hit once. You gotta be stylish as possible. And that's hard to do, because Sonic Adventure 2 is sometimes programmed on a bit of duct tape. Yes, this is why I make the joke, and this is why I'm tracking all the things that could potentially go wrong while you're doing things like, hey, pursuing A ranks, if you decide to. And I can't blame you if you decide not to. It's kind of obscene the things this game wants you to do sometimes. You gotta hit a whole bunch of hidden trick points. The homing attack isn't exactly the most reliable thing in the universe. At that sometimes, nor is the ring dash, but you still gotta be able to use them. I think the most annoying part of getting all these A ranks is just how arbitrary it feels to hit some of these trick points in the first place. It's like, oh hey, you gotta grind on this specific rail, and oh wait, you missed the rail? Guess what, you don't get any of the points for that. By the way, if you grind on this other rail, you get nothing. Alternatively, see, hey, you hit this rail correctly, as you were supposed to, but we can't give you the trick points still, because you didn't hit the right spot on that rail. It gets needlessly specific. As a result, barriers are your best friend. Because so many of the A ranks depend on you having as many rings as possible when you cross the finish line, anything that can help you preserve your ring total is going to be your best friend. Barriers. How is that still not enough? Missed it by 130 points. 130 points. In essence, the difference is about 13 rings. The difference was 13 rings, effectively. Just put that into perspective. I don't know what it was that Sonic Team was on when they decided to make score attack the requisite for for letter grades. I get it if you want to make replayability into it. There are worse ways to go about it, I'm certain of it. Coughs in Shadow the Hedgehog, which asks in order to get 100% completion for the average player to play through it exactly 300 and some odd different times to get every single potential pathway. And all of these pathways, by the way, are literally no different from one another. Like, the only difference is, hey, maybe you played one specific stage differently because we decided to make the world map into a tree as opposed to a linear pathway. I don't mind Shadow the Hedgehog. Cough, I don't mind just playing it as opposed to getting the 100% completions. There's no way in hell I'd want to curse anyone with that fate because, again, no one wants to play more than 6 playthroughs of Shadow the Hedgehog anyway. It's not like the story is long, but having to play through it 6 times as is, just so you can potentially have all the stages unlocked, is already a bit egregious. Also, there's some duct tape for you. Half pipes in Sonic Adventure 2 aren't exactly the kindest things in the world, especially when it comes to places like Green Forest here. Oh, fuck you. Fine, whatever. Have more rings going into this section, still hit the rail. You gotta be kidding me. Oh, my nuggets. Whoopee! What? How you doing? So far, the day isn't going too badly. Okay, now it's definitely not fine. Thinking about it, does Ancient Light fix that little aspect? Maybe not. Although, if I can get some cover to use Ancient Light, maybe that can help me. But then again, I'm putting my eggs into the basket that is shaped like Ancient Light, and Ancient Light notoriously isn't the greatest thing to use. Then again, Ring Dash is also notoriously not the greatest thing to use. What happened there? Literally just phase through the platform. Phase through the platform, sure, game. This is my madness arc, by the way. I asked for this, I'm delivering it. Duct tape coating, you say it yourself. Yeah, unfortunately. Curiosity. Why was I expecting Ancient Light to actually work? See, that was my first 3 problems right there. You hoped in Ancient Light, and you thought Ancient Light was actually going to function as it was intended to. Hilarious. Like, actually hilarious. Mind-numbingly so. Oh, you poor wishful thinking rack. You know what? Thinking about it, would this path actually give me more points? Specifically because of the ring dash pathway. We'll find out shortly. Somehow, I gotta make sure I don't get hit. Okay, duct tape. That, maybe I can make up for it by collecting more rings along this way. Okay. Shit, never mind. I tried to hope on, of all things, Ancient Light. It probably wasn't gonna be enough. Again, there's another mod for this game that ensures that no matter how you complete a stage, you always get an A rank. Naturally, we're also not gonna be using that, because that is blatant cheating. Last I checked, I'm a rack that likes to suffer. Yeah, exactly, Blue. Suffering builds character. My legs are enough proof of that. And I guess status update on that, I'm able to walk now without use of the cane, so that helps a drastic amount, especially since I'm due to go back to work in a couple of weeks. I didn't wait for the score bonus, that probably ruined it. That indeed ruined it. Like I said, duct tape. Most stages in the game have hidden little score extras that only appear in certain circumstances. Mind you, a good lot of the instances where they appear are sensible. Hey, you get a score attack bonus for defeating a trail of enemies. Hey, you get a score attack bonus for doing a couple of ring dashes in quick succession. And then some stages pull bullshit like this, where score requisites are determined by specific events occurring. Like, oh hey, you got to the end stage where, past the collapsing platforms, but oh wait, you got there a little too fast, so we're not gonna give you the score. We're not gonna give you the score bonus quite yet. Sorry, you needed to wait a couple of seconds so that way the bits of rock, as they're falling, hit a specific threshold, and then we can give you the score bonus. That by itself wouldn't be too bad. But it's the fact that you have to do all of these pretty much in a single run. That's what makes the A ranks sometimes very frustrating for the Sonic Shadow sides. If anything, as much flack as people give the shooter stages, you know, Eggies, Tailses, those A ranks are a whole lot easier, specifically because their gameplay actually works around the whole score attack aspect. Hey, you were able to hit a bunch of enemies in a massive chain, here's a bunch of score. I literally did what you were asking of me, game, and Lightspeed Dash decided to fail me for the umpteenth time. It's gonna be one of those things. And some people will laugh saying this is the sort of thing that would cause a person to develop an addiction. I already have an addiction, it's called card packs. I have 4 Digimon packs sitting next to me. I have them next to me as a reward. Because, you know, I'm the type of Racky that needs to have their steady amount of rewards in order to be able to do something. Thus, Digimon cards. Because I like Digimon. Cardboard crack for... Yeah, exactly. Cardboard crack for sneaking for that dopamine. How you doing, Lux? Shit. To list off, the things that provide score. Collecting rings, defeating enemies, arbitrary areas where you gotta hit specific thresholds in order to get style bonuses, as the game calls them. Picking up animals and drives. But here's the thing. Some of these things are worth more points than others and are thus higher priority. Each drive you pick up is maybe like 10 points. Not worth it. However, this is the same amount of score that you get for collecting a single ring. 10 points. Conversely, collecting rings is worth it. Not because of the massive amount of rings that you get per stage, but also because you get an additional bonus for the total number of rings that you collect. I could left, looking at the Wolf Games list now, think inconsistent and arbitrary it is. Yeah, that sounds about right. Also, yeah, I would say that card packs are at least slightly healthier than alcohol. Gambling is still gambling at the end of the day, but at least this type of gambling is something that, if you wanted to, you could sell back for a decent amount of cash. Like I would. Reki just likes the pretty artwork. Another item that gives points, how quickly you clear the stage. However, as I think I've already mentioned at one point, just because you clear the stage fast doesn't mean you're guaranteed the A rank. It helps. There we go. $15,000. Now for a break. Because collecting 100 rings in this stage, easy. Especially since I don't need to worry about enemies. Just fly through 100 gold rings to reach Dinosaur Planet. Of all missions, why is it the 100 rings and Lost Chow missions that actually determine themselves by your time? It makes sense. You got the same right. Shit. This might not be fast enough. Because I also don't think I discussed how relevant checkpoints can be in these ring attack challenges. Never mind. Cool. I didn't really discuss it because it wasn't all that relevant before. Passing by the checkpoint with certain amounts of rings will give you different rewards. I believe the first reward that you can ever get is an additional 5 rings as a result of passing the checkpoint with at least 20. Oh my nuggets, Sonic. Actually snapped to the ring trail. I'm trying to remember where I need to go for Mystic Melody. I think it is this area? I was in the right place, I just missed the jump. You gotta be kidding me. Now I gotta take the slow path. I'm convinced, by the way, that that's a bit of duct tape. Like, of all pieces of level geometry, that's just inconvenient. Speaking of inconvenient. Right over here. Well, shit. I think I also mentioned at one point gold beetles exist for like score attack stops. There's a specific window in which you're able to hit them, and if you do, you get about 1,000 points. Why the hell? That's twice now. Of course, the caveat with Gold Beetle is they're only available for like a window of 2 to 3 seconds. So if you shoot it or try to punch it or try to whack it and you're even a little bit sour on the timing, it's just gonna flicker away and you lose out on it. There is a mod for SA2 that makes it so Gold Beetles will never be spawned. Again, we're not gonna be using that. Suffering builds character. Besides, it's a simple reflex test to go, oh hey, Gold Beetle, whack. Hey, Racky, whack. Yeah, sounds about right. Wacky the Racky. It sounds like a Sonic OC. Don't smoke the Racky. Okay, now if you phrase it like that, it sounds like the ganja. I cannot do finite platforming today. Suddenly I'm very glad that I decided to play Sonic, as opposed to any other type of game that wouldn't require platforming. Smash It Wild, for example. That's a game that exists now. Volleyball roguelike. It's pretty fun. I played the demo of it. I can highly recommend it. Actually, speaking of platforming games that I can recommend, a friend of mine, Daniel Whatwind, introduced me to a fun little obstacle course platformer called Purple Arc. You're a little bat, you do some platforming things. And yes, technically speaking, the game does give you a double jump. But at the same rate, the parkour that you can get up to in the game is pretty fun. And it also features similar challenges like this game. Oh hey, clear the game without, clear each level without, for example, well, clear each level as fast as possible, or clear each level at full health. Yeah, not exactly the without taking damage aspect, because I tested this. You could still get some of those perfect health medals by just being at full health, even if you've taken a hit in the stage, which is generous, provided you make sure to refill. Though the most interesting of them revolves around a platform mechanic. One of the things that you can do in the game is called flapping. Essentially, flapping your wings. You don't get too much out of it, or at least you'd think so. It effectively counts kinda like a double jump. You can glide out of it, you can readjust yourself out of it. It's just generally very useful. Oh my nuggets. One of the game's challenges asks you to clear levels without using that flapping mechanic, and suddenly all of the aspects of the parkour and platforming that you could do, wall jumps, flutter jumps, etc., become all the more important and useful and fun to execute. Because you gotta do these really complicated strings of dash jumps, flutter jumps, sometimes even enemy bounces to get from point A to B, and it's very, very satisfying to execute. I think I've gotten I think I've cleared World 3 in that game. There we go. Lost Chow. Clear objective, 1:30. So you do get a tiny amount of leeway. Not much. Not much. Round 4. 4 minutes, so half the time limit. On the bright side, sure, they force you down to half the time limit, but in most cases where you have to clear the time attack mission, there are a couple of exceptions, by the way, they also decrease the score value that you need to hit. In this case, as opposed to 15,000 points, we just need to hit 12,000. Fuck. It's a little more doable, still nonsense that you have to do a score attack challenge in a time attack stage, but sure, whatever. It's at least manageable. Wait! I hit you, game. Shut up. Technically speaking, I might not need to do all that rigmarole, but I don't want to take any risks, you know? Again, part of the score you get at the end of the stage is determined by the total amount of rings that you've gotten. So any little thing that I could do to bolster that score, to bolster that amount, I'd like to be able to keep it. I know it's just 11 rings. It's my 11 rings. I plan to feed them to Chow. I gotta feed my babies. I gotta take care of the little ones. I gotta be a responsible parent. I'm also gonna point out, because of how stringent these time limits end up being, they don't give you checkpoints. That can be difficult. Come on. That does make it a little bit difficult for, well, that does make one think that it's going to be a little bit more difficult. And it can be. Again, it effectively means you gotta clear the entire stage in one go. Here's the thing. Chances are pretty high that if you're relying on a checkpoint anyway for your time attack challenge, you might not hit the score that you're intending to hit. You might not have hit the score that you're intending to hit anyway. If anything, a checkpoint will just hinder you. There we go. Funny to think about. My usual B rank performance is an A rank on the time attack challenge. Now for the hard mode run. By the look of it, the score attack requisite here is 12,000 points. Let's see if we can do that. Oh. Already, you might notice a whole myriad of difficulties. The level geometry is much less forgiving. Accessing the path up here requires a, excuse me, bounce bracelet. This requires a homing attack string now. Checkpoints still exist at least. You still gotta be able to clear the stage without taking damage, probably. Excuse me? I forgot about those. They get quite a ways meaner with the level design in hard mode. Surprise spike ramp. Shoot! Okay. Hard mode also sometimes starves you of a few checkpoints. Whew. Okay, barrier's gonna help a lot. How did that hit me? Just in case. Okay, back to barrier. And the final nail in the coffin of this. They've made these platforms sink a lot faster. On the bright side, we've been good about collecting rings along the way, so that should be able to help us. Here we go. All A. Green forest. Out. So if I can't be dependent on barriers this time, just gonna have to figure out another way. Chances are I'm probably just gonna need to be a bit more destructive. Ouch. That's not gonna help at all, because I need to preserve that shield up into the car chase. That is the only way I get that A rank, I think, because I effectively need to collect close to all of the rings along the way on that. You gotta be, technically speaking, hitting all the cars, hitting a car in here does also give you points. However, only cars that you as Sonic directly collide into. And it's only 20 points, so 2 rings. I feel like going fast, the platform going fast, check neon white. I've been meaning to, honestly. Shit. That's a code for neon white, isn't it, Lux? Oh my god, thank you. That might actually be a good cooldown game every so often. Not exactly. That's fine. Still appreciate it. A gift is a gift, and regardless of the matter, thank you. You didn't need to do that. I appreciate it. I think the guide that I looked at claimed that City Escape was one of the hardest A ranks to get, period. Well, City Escape 4, rather. Specifically because there's not much you could do to optimize the route, and you still gotta play at least somewhat perfectly. I still don't know what the barrier is specifically for those 2 sets of rails there. I don't know why I keep missing that. This is one of the stages where it is very dependent on that gold beetle. 1,000 points doesn't sound like much, but compare it to the only 100 that you get for every other kill in the game. Good. Okay. 1, 2. Is it specifically getting onto that second rail with downward gravity? I don't get it. 2 and 3. Good. That third ramp always has some very, very weird timing. Wet. Thanks for the head pats. I'll try not to be a disappointment today. How you doing, Tarm? Whew. You know what? I have a terrible idea. Skip the ramp. Okay, 1, 2. Come on, come on. 3. Please tell me that was enough. Ugh! Suck it! And you wanna know what the worst part about this is? On the bright side, it does pad it out a little bit by introducing more enemies. Even still, it also introduces more pits and also mandatory jumps. On the bright side, this glitch still exists. Shit, I missed the gold beetle, no! I didn't realize they put it there. They also put a few more obstacles in this variant. How am I gonna squeeze out 2,000 more points? I mean, the gold beetle is one thing. That's 1,000 right there. You gotta be kidding. I wonder if roll strings will get me more score. You gotta be kidding me. I can't afford to take a single hit. Shit, that's gonna hurt a lot. Okay, so it does. Cool. That's something I remember. Got it. So they moved placement of that. That is genius. Fuck. Technically speaking, I still haven't taken damage. I can maybe still spin this. Depends on how this goes. Good. Got the gold beetle. Okay, cool. I can maybe spin this. Maybe not. Please tell me that was enough. Holy shit, we did it. City escape. Done. Bit of a rough performance, but we made it work. Metal Harbor. Objective, get 100 rings in 70 seconds. After this, we might take a chow break. Ah! Ah! What the fuck was that? If that stray hit me, I would have shat myself. Shit, I think I just barely missed it because of that. Oh my god, milliseconds off. A chow break? I mean, a shower break? Oh my god, I don't know which is worse, food or hungry. Although, I think the chow might be hungry at some point. You gotta be kidding me. I also didn't know that rocket was there, by the way. I guess that's in the case that you fuck up the ring trail a little too much. If only there were one more ring along the way. Let me give you a call real quick. A ring, oh god damn it, Blue. Okay, you suckered me with that one. That's what Reggie gets for rummaging the trash. Where? Oh right, I did leave Rizana over in the kindergarten. Now there is something I did want to try to test out. In order to test it out, I am gonna need a Tringle and a Square Fruit. Here, Chow, learn the flute. What is your favorite fruit? Medical chart. Please neutral. Chow likes round fruit, of fucking course. The one fruit I don't have. You can eat this. I don't know which of these fruits you might like. Just gonna give one to you. Okay, just one tick. You seem to be fine with the square fruit. Are you fine with the Tringle fruit? Okay, no. Something I wanted to test out because I've always been curious about this. The triangle fruits, the square fruit, the round fruit. The game makes a big deal out of, it tries to make a big deal out of them, but it looks like they have the same effectiveness as a standard nut. So why would I want to buy them? Oh well, I suppose we'll leave it as a mystery for now. There's a Leica. How you doing? How's the buffer? Find the lost Chow. I remember where I need to go for this. So many knobs! Good to see you're well rested. Bye-bye, bitrate! I hope that was fast enough. C? 50 seconds? We gotta get there in 50 seconds. Okay, that is extreme. Numbs the bitrate and numbs the bitrate. God. Bah. Is a Leica. The adorable bupper. Not to be confused with Woofy, the adorable bupper. Seriously, game? Fuck you. Just in time. The smallest bupper versus the biggest bupper. Yeah, that sounds right. Why am I being bullied? Metal Harbor, 18,000 points. Oh dear. Does this mean I have to get the top of the rocket again? Well, on the bright side, I know how to get up to there. Theoretically, this should be an amount of doable. Made it. Now, hopefully this will be enough to help me, but again, I need to reach a score threshold of 18,000. You have got to be kidding me! Oh, you bitch. You bitch game. You bitch game. Oh my god. By half a second, I'm gonna shatter. And the places you get points are so stringent in this stage, too. So you're telling me I gotta hit the top of the rocket not once, but twice? I know exactly where we fucked up, too. It's these little slide grates. Because we didn't get them in one take the last time, that's what cost us the A rank. It's so useless, by the way, that this entire rocket sequence takes up like 20 seconds. And watch, that wasn't enough. Typing less believable? Wow. Being woken up a couple of... B! Well, rested state is essentially due to being woken up a couple times by a lawnmower, just eating through the best you get so you can wake up. Yeah, I'm gonna need a wooden spoon at this point. This is fucking intolerable. I might not be able to eat with that spoon at the end of this. I might need a straw. Oh my gods. I am 12 types of livid. Okay, so now that I have my pathing, just gotta pog out of my gourd. Good. Now don't fuck up the slide grates. Good. Ah, missed some points off that, but that's probably going to kill me. On the bright side, y'all are getting repeat performances of my performance on the first A rank, because I'm able to do this very consistently now. Like, disgustingly consistently. Please be enough. That's enough! Aces! Now for the hard mode version, which also requires 18,000 points. I should also point out for some of these hard mode challenges, fuck. I've never done them. I suppose now is a good time to talk about this, but the copy of Sonic Adventure 2 that we've got is my sister's. For the most part, Rune's been the one struggling to do all the A-rank bullshit. And sure, I've made some attempts. I've done some of the A-rank missions for her. Mostly the shooter sections, because that's my specialty. Shit. Duct tape. How you doing, Sunflow? Woo. Oh, right. Don't they pull the bullshit this time where you absolutely have to get the top of the rocket? Okay. We may have a lot more clearance than I was expecting and hoping. Which is a good thing. Let's see what happens. We got it. How is that easier? That was like, what, 2 attempts? Regularly recharging like a proto with a DC jack after all this? Oh, yes, I think I will. I deserve a card pack. We are halfway through all of Sonic's stages.